Okay. I'm Steve Grody. Welcome to Swing Dance LA. And I have a wonderful partner to help me demonstrate today, Diana Velasquez. With a Z, two Z's. And again, briefly, we are working with primarily 6-count social swing. What we mean by social is the signals. You know, you can meet somebody, they say they know how to swing dance, and if they really do, you can just get out there and dance. You don't have to say, well, do you know this, do you know that? You just learn how to, you just dance with each other. It's a language. It's a physical language. It's physical jazz, as it were. That's the social aspect, as opposed to things that need to be practiced. They're not lead and follow. We're talking about what you can lead and follow with anybody. By 6-count swing, that means as opposed to the original Lindy Hop. Well, it's not opposed to. Actually, the original Lindy Hop, which started in the late 20s, evolved in the 30s, and was screamingly popular throughout the swing era, and is back, we're happy to say. The 6-count patterns were part of that. But then Arthur Murray and these other studios, historically, they said, well, that's too complicated to teach, so they took a simple part of it, called the jig step, and they made it its own thing. It kind of became its own thing so that it could be a simple thing that the masses, or messes, as the case may be, could learn it. And that simple part became this basic, either an open position where we go step, step, rock, step, 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 rock, step, or in closed position, step, step, rock, step, 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 rock, step. That's, again, the basic. Again, we've talked about frame. We're just going to just breeze by it so super quick right now. Frame is essential. In other words, if she doesn't give me a little back pull against me, then I can't pull her, and she can't feel the signals. If she doesn't push back against me when I push towards her, in other words, if she doesn't give me a little bit of push against whatever I do, we have no way to communicate with each other. So there's always tone or resistance in the arms. So the arms are not flopping all over because they're used to communicate the signals clearly. Okay. We've talked about that on every show. We need to at least breeze by that. That is a different issue from posture or attitude, which is an intrinsic part of any dance. Cha-cha, tango, ballroom, swing all have different attitudes in the way they carry themselves. In swing, it's not this. It's but it shouldn't be hunchback either. But there's a gravity. There's a bebop. There's a down to it. To its how do you say that? You know, there's a gravity, a groundedness. So we're just going to go over for 2 seconds before the next song comes up. Again, just reminding you that, again, this bounce is always there. This bounce is always there no matter what we do. The bounce continues. The bounce is in open position. It's in everything we do, and we're kind of on the balls of feet, and there's just a little bit of lean. This would be verboten in, say, freestyle foxtrot or waltz, where you want it like this. But this is part of the character and the difference between swing and why it's a different thing. Okay. Now, at the end of last program, we introduced triple step. Up to this point, generally, I've talked about single time, which means that in the bounce, let's say in just an open position, it would be step with a bounce, rock, step, step with a bounce, and rock, step. And again, the bounce ideally is coming from the balls of the feet. The shoulders can echo that, but if it's just in the shoulders and not down here, then it's not quite, it still feels a little bit too sluggish. So you want the balls of feet. So it's a bounce, bounce, rock, step, bounce, bounce, rock, step. Now triple step, again, there's a double time as well, which is tap, step, dribble. We're going to go straight to triple step right now. And that's already implied in the bounce. In other words, what that means is we just pick our foot up, and again, different teachers show triple step slightly different ways, but it all works, as long as you're not over-traveling. In other words, by the triple step, notice we still stay triple step, triple step, triple step, or just triple step. So that means foot in and out, right in, tap, and out. So you go left and left, right and lean right, left and lean left, right and lean right. Now, she, of course, will be mirroring me. So when we're here, if we're in open position, when I lean to my left, she's leaning to her right. So We could start with a rock step, or we can start with just the lean. She'll feel that immediately wherever it is I want to start, and it will still synchronize to the music. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do just an open position, basic, but with a triple step. As a matter of fact, let's just put on this next cut, and you'll see us putting in the triple step and what we do. And you'll notice this tempo is just a little bit slower than a lot of what people usually dance to. But that's why you need more going on with the feet. Otherwise, it just feels like you're asleep. A 5, 6, 7,
My baby done left me. She never even telephoned.
Triple step and triple step and rock step. Triple step and rock step. Triple step, triple step, rock step. Triple step, triple step, rock step.
Spin it on her Dallas man.
See, it doesn't have to be frantic music to
Took
swing.
all my money.
You can take more
Spin it
time
on her Dallas
to play
man.
and style with this stuff sometimes. It's really
And
nice.
now I'm sad and lonely.
Some of the swing kids these days think that it has to be like some kind of athletic aerobic contest. It doesn't. It's about the play and communication with your partner. Hey, what did you get here? See, there's a light little triple step, rock step, triple step, rock step. Left and left, right and left for the male. Just a little break. So, triple step, triple step. The rock step is the same. Still adds up to the same 6 count. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. Okay, now let's fade that cut down for a sec. Let's just fade that, but keep that cut. Okay, we're going to hold on to that cut and continue that in a moment. So again, one of the reasons that you do a triple step is because you want to have the option of triple step or single time, because if the music is frantic, then you'll generally do single time with a bounce so that you can like survive. And if it's slower and you want to put more in there, it just depends on how hard you want to work, as my teachers have told me. Then you put on more, maybe a little more styling. You have more time to play with different things when it's a little bit slower tempo. Now, again, it still adds up to the same 6 counts. You're just articulating with the feet. And what's important is that you go triple step, trip. It doesn't go bop, 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 bop. It's not clogging. It shouldn't be clogging. It should be just a nice, light, and easy shabada, shabada, rock step, shabada, shabada. And see, again, it's still bounce and bounce, bounce on the balls of the feet. And it shouldn't be tromping, doing like a paso dobles, you know. It's a very different thing. Okay. Yes, exactly. And that's what generally, I mean, and again, we all start from someplace. I mean, I would love to see early footage of me when I was first doing this stuff so I could burn it. Because a room full of people starting with a triple step, it all sounds like tromp, tromp, tromp. It's got to be light and easy, and keep the bend and keep the bounce. That's the heart blood. Okay, now, let's keep the music, bring the song up again, and we're just going to, good.
My baby done left me.
We're just going to, so you can see this at this pace. That this triple step.
My baby done left
And sometimes we'll do other styling.
me. Never even
It's not written in stone.
She found a man
She might style.
and now I'm all alone.
I might style. Styling just means
Took all my money.
things that we can do independently of each other with our footwork or body movement.
Took all my money.
And I'm talking so much, I'm not listening to the music.
And now I'm sad and lonely. doing the best I can.
Notice I take her into closed position and I just let it drag into a right-hand hold with a passing tuck turn. Knee under, sending her by. Now, one of the things we talked about last time were variations in the sin past. This basic sin past. A rock step, triple step, push, pull, triple step, push, pull, triple step. On the left side, same thing. She just feels the direction and sees me clear the line of travel. Now I add my skin turn. My hand can be on top as comfortable. Sometimes I'll put it underneath. Now on that skin turn, I can always offer cross hand hold. It should never be confusing to your partner. Again, this is the second show that I'm doing with Diana.
Mama, 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 why treat your sweet man so cruel?
We did not rehearse before the show.
I did my best to please you.
We don't need to rehearse.
Treat me like a fool.
Because we dance. We speak this language of swing. We did not have the same teachers.
My sad heart is blue. My gal's gone to Dallas. Now what can I do? My baby done left me.
We didn't have the same teachers, but we didn't have the same teachers in English either. But we still speak English.
I'm going to Kansas City.
Although mine is not so good sometimes. Wrap in to a sugar bowl free spin. Okay, before the next cut comes up. So again, we're talking about a language, and the main issues are frame, that we have the ways, in other words, the skills of leading and following, which is communicated through frame, their visual cues, and body leads as well. In other words, this, she feels it through her arms. Now she feels it between the hand on my back and the hand on the front. But there are other times when it's when there's partly a visual cue. Let's say I come around to here and I offer my hand. She sees the hand. It's very unlikely. I mean, I've never offered my hand to a dancer and had them just look at it and say, well, what am I supposed to do with that? They take the hand. As my teacher had said to me at one point when I said, will somebody understand? They said, look, what is the first thing you learn as a child? When you just first learn to walk, mom or dad offers the hand, you take the hand. Kids don't, I mean, an infant doesn't go, oh, what? They take the hand. It's the most natural thing in the world. So again, most of the signals should be that kind of, if the person isn't so nervous or out of their, or inebriated or something, then generally the signals should be pretty given clearly and received clearly. Okay. So we talked about several ways of doing hand change. Again, it could be from a free spin. The hand change means this is normal hold. This is cross hand hold. This is left cross hand hold. This is right hand hold. And again, whether somebody calls these other names, it doesn't matter. In Shanghai, there's some swing teacher probably calling this green dragon out of the sea. It doesn't matter as long as when you're dancing with somebody, this works out. Okay. There's infinite amounts of ways we can get to these different places. Like I said, on the Sen pass from normal hold, I could just hand change right there. Or from here, on my skin turn, I either offer cross hand hold or normal hold with the hand on top, and I'll switch it back during the time. Or on my skin turn, notice what I do is before I've let go of this hand, I offer this one. So it's not, there's no confusion to her because there's nothing else she can do but take this hand. Unless she's in some incredibly creative neurological state of mind. Okay. So also, what we want to start to go in before we go into the next cut just a little bit is we're going to go into, well, let's just Let's bring up the music. And we'll introduce stuff this way.
Well, wake up, baby.
Classic jump swing tempo.
Well, wake up, baby. Come out of your stall. Go to the market, get some chicken, dress up a house with more.
I ask under and loop. Into a temporary sweetheart. God, that sounds so tawdry. She's just my temporary sweetheart. Passing. Now, we went into sweetheart, the skate, but I can also take it all the way further when I just spin her a little bit harder from cross hand hold back into closed position. So I just go around a little bit further so she sees that hand. Right now, I know what I'm doing, but I can't call it out fast enough. So I'm just going to have to let it be. The tempo is just a little bit too much for my verbal skills. Again, notice this hand. It's here. It has a little bit of bounce, but it's not flopping all over like a fish out of water. Because she wouldn't be able to know what I was doing then. Okay, we're going to go into cuddle. I pull her in, back out. Into cuddle, we circle. I roll her out. Passing tuck turn. Two-hand hold. I let go of this right. When she feels me circle, her into sweetheart, into a wrap in. Sugar bowl free spin. She turns, he turns, me skin turns, something, something, something. There I go. I found the beat again. I can do that.
We're gonna have a ball.
Okay, now before the next cut comes up, let's see if I can remember some of the things that I wanted to talk about. So, again, there are a number of classical positions. And again, the interesting thing is that at first, I remember when I was first, my base dance is swing in general, but my first and my home dance is Lindy Hop, which to me includes East Coast swing. And at first, for a while, because I was naive, and there's still everything in the world to learn, but I thought, well, I don't want to learn these other dances because it's starting from scratch. It turns out frame is frame. And once you understand frame and resistance, to understand different dances is not so much of a problem, because the first problem is just understanding how you communicate. And then you communicate. It's like just speaking with a different dialect sometimes, but the words are not always that different. Many ballroom dances have cuddle. Many ballroom dances have sweetheart. They all have variations on normal hold, whether it's a ballroom grip or whether you end up in cross-hand hold temporarily, or left-hand hold, or skate hold. This is woman's skate, and sometimes this could be known as when you pass through promenade. This would also be known as men's skate position because I'm in front. So many dances have these things in common, and so you realize that it's not so much of a leap to go from one to another. So when we talk about these things, it's not as though we're presenting this as though cuddle or sweetheart or skate is necessarily unique to East Coast swing or Lindy Hop. And when I say Lindy, I mean Lindy Hop. I don't mean what ballroom people refer to as Lindy, which is really 6-count East Coast swing. Lindy Hop is a distinct 8-count thing that evolved out of the Charleston era, and then Frankie Manning put this laid out line in there. Before that, it was really cool still, but it was much more upright. Anyway, without getting into the history lesson. So, the easiest way to take her into cuddle is from two-hand open position right now, and I step slightly to my left to give, as I pull her with my right hand, Again, notice I'm putting my finger over. It doesn't have to be there. It could be here. As long as I'm not squeezing my thumb on top, my thumb could be gently here, but not, we should, neither one of us ever be holding on for dear life. We shouldn't be holding on for, she has enough bend down of the wrist that I can push against that, and enough curl of the fingers that I can pull, but we shouldn't be like finger wrestling here. Okay. I pull straight towards me with this one, and this one comes up and across, so she just naturally gets backed into my arm here. She stops. Why? Because she feels the back of my arm. She runs into the back of my arm. And notice that it's here as opposed to across the back of her head, which would be ungainly and uncomfortable. And bad. Just bad. Okay? Bad dancer. Okay. So I pull her in, and that's basic cuddle. It's also possible that traditionally it's on the right because she is more often on the right than on the left. However, there's no reason why I couldn't bring her across to my left side just for variety and to do other variations. So the easiest thing is, again, on the 6 count, a 5, 6, 7, and step, step, rock, step, 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 rock, step. And then we can stay here in our basic as long as we feel like it, until she feels a push, push, rock, step. And then we just let the grip readjust. Step, rock, step, 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 rock, step. So see, it's all very natural and just incorporates whenever you want into 2 hands. Now, one of the variations of getting into cuddle, though, could also be, and you can circle or not circle, as the case may be, in terms of if you're in right hand hold, and again, the easiest way you do that is if you're in 2-hand open position, just going step, step, rock, step, step, let go, rock, step. Now notice that I rocked her open. Notice that I didn't say, you know, the thing. It's like she just felt, notice that when I moved her arm this way, her body moved. A nightmare for a leader, and you know this right off the bat when you dance with a woman, is if I was the follower and she were leading and she starts to push towards me and this arm just goes with no response to the body, then that's a nightmare, because this is the way we move and communicate with each other. So one of the things that I did is I let go of my left hand, so we were in right hand hold. I rocked her open. Now, my hand will curve like this, which will turn her, and there are a number of things that could be, so I still have to make it clear. I'm going to step around to kind of wrap her into a cuddle. So we're going like this. We're going step, step, rock, step, 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 rock, step, 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 rock, step, step, and I just grab this hand somewhere along the line. I can also roll her out as well. So we're just going into our basic here. We're going step, step, rock, step, 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 rock, step, 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 rock, step, and keeping that balance the whole time. Now, how does she know to roll out? Because what I'm doing, first of all, the first cue is that I'm letting go of this hand. Then, with my right hand, I'm just kind of going like this. I'm pulling on her fingertips lightly and pushing my wrist into her, and it just naturally rolls her body out. There's not much else she can do. She can't go this way, so it just kind of rolls her out. Now, at this point, there's, again, so many things you could do, but what I did is a passing tuck turn, and she knows because she feels pulling across the line, and she sees the visual cue of me stepping off the line. Yada, yada, yada. So, we're going to put on some music and do maybe those Sweetheart variations, and maybe a few others. Again, this is nice, kind of really mellow tempo, so we can triple step and play with styling. I put this in here deliberately, this song, because it's not a classic jump swing tempo. LME Morse, great singer. Took her into Sweetheart as a pass, into a double loop. Or maybe not. Thank you.
All you got to do is just
It always is a dialogue, and it should be dynamic. We should respond to each other, and that's part of the fun. We surprise each other. Hopefully they're all pleasant surprises. I try not to step on my partner's toes. This is a wrap in. I bring her around, and then add on an outside turn. Free spin. How does she know to stay there and just twist? Because that's what she feels through the arms. How does she feel that through the arms? Because we're not flopping around. And it's cool because I gave her a vague signal. So whatever she takes, my right hand, my left hand, it's cool. We may just be fading out, so keep on dancing out there. Something that anybody can learn. Let's go ahead and bring up the next cut. Okay. Okay. That was a weird ending.
Inside out and outside in your body. Are you fat and forty, but naughty, you remind me. From your feet to your knees, you knock me, baby, you remind me. I got you covered, but baby, you must be. Then the days were full, when the nights were full, there was fires and water in store. I guarantee you that couldn't be me. I'll have to talk about your gams and your big fat hands. Love you, baby, I love you so, but you don't mind me. Are you fat and forty, but naughty, you remind me.